Hi everyone, it's Renae Jarrett with Not Sorry for the Story, an unapologetic take on current affairs right out of Canada. This is the second episode for 2022. Thank you for your support with the first one. Yes, hello, welcome on board, Instagrammers. Thanks so much for the views, the shares. So much resonating happening with that last video. Today I want to just go right into it and tell you about a clip from one of my favorite movies, a classic movie, Gladiator. I might have spoken about it before, but there is a scene in the movie Gladiator where the emperor walks around Maximus, the general who became a slave, who became a gladiator. And he walks around him in disdain, and he's just like, "You just won't die." And later in that scene, Maximus says to him, in response to some of the vile things that he speaks, "The time for honoring yourself will soon come to an end." This Not Sorry for the Story is directed towards the Prime Minister. In recent weeks, you have said some vile things about your fellow Canadians who may happen to be unimmunized, unjabbed, or they might be. But even as people begin to gather in Ottawa, you've called them a small fringe minority holding unacceptable views because they didn't do like the rest of us and consider everyone else. Let me just say, first of all, that's not the case with those who are gathering. It's Canadians, again, of all stripes, Canadians. You've called them in recent weeks, many of them being racist, misogynistic. You said that they have no right to be sitting in a plane or on a train beside our children. And today I just have two questions for you, Prime Minister. Number one, are you governing these people? Are you governing the ones you're describing? Because I know you're governing some who are known terrorists, and they've never had such descriptions come from you. And I am asking the question, are you governing them? Because if you are governing them, you have no right to speak about Canadians, citizens of this nation, in that manner. Number two, if you are not governing them, then they have no responsibility to listen to you. So which is it? Are you governing these despicables? Or are you not governing them? See, words matter. And the words you've used lately are the lowest form of relating with people, name calling. And if any group was called some of the names you've called some of my fellow Canadians lately, there would be such outrage. There are the untouchables in this nation. There are those, as I mentioned, known terrorists, but they would never get this description. Today, my fellow Canadians are gathering in Canada at the Ottawa Parliament building, and they're taking a stand. People are taking a stand of all stripes, including the former Premier of Newfoundland, Brian Peckford, the last remaining architect of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and he is suing the government regarding the travel mandates. I wonder why the architect of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms would do that. I wonder if he is considered one of that small fringe as well. So, Prime Minister, you have two questions to answer. And to my fellow Canadians, I would just say, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. There's joy over this nation. There's joy over this land. And what is happening here is being received in other nations. This is something that has been spoken about years ago, but it's coming to pass, even as others are inspired by the stance that's being taken in our nation by my fellow Canadians. Today I say I stand with the God of all creation, who's on the Lord's side. I stand on guard with and in my nation. I stand with the truckers, and I stand with Canadians.